Welcome back. One final point before we go tonight. Banning guns won't work. It won't stop gun violence. If banning guns is the answer, why is the crime rate in Chicago so horrendous? Why is Baltimore rife with gun violence? Why are the cities in our country with the harshest gun control measures the most dangerous cities with the worst gun violence? Banning guns won't work. If banning guns worked, why didn't the crime rate plummet during the so-called assault weapons ban? Why didn't the Brady Bill cause gun violence to disappear? Banning guns won't work. Why can't liberals name one gun control law in our country that has proven to decrease violence and crime? Banning guns won't work. How does MS-13 get their hands on guns? How did the San Bernardino terrorists, Tashfeen Malik and Saeed Farouk, how did they get a hold of their weapons? Criminals don't follow the law. Banning guns leaves us, law-abiding citizens, without a means for defense, while all the guns end up illegally in the hands of killers. Banning guns won't work. If guns themselves are the problem, why do our politicians have armed security details protecting them? Why do liberal anti-gun celebrities have armed security guards that follow them around wherever they go? I'll tell you why. Because a good guy with a gun is always the best solution to a bad guy with a gun. Banning guns won't work. If AR-15s are the problem, why is it that only 2.5% of murders in our nation are committed with rifles? 374 murders with rifles out of 15,070 total murders, 2.5%. Twice as many killers murder their victims with their feet in their hands than with rifles. If the murder weapon is the problem, where are liberals calling to ban feet? Banning guns won't work. 200,000 times a year, women defend ourselves against sexual abuse with a firearm. Is that something liberals really want to take away from us? Banning guns won't work. Firearms are used 80 times more often in our country to save a life than to take a life. Is that something liberals really want to take away from us? Banning guns won't work. This country is a free nation. We are the United States of America instead of Germany or Japan or the British colonies because of brave men under 21 with firearms. Punishing law-abiding adults for the crimes of heinous killers is not the answer. Banning guns won't work. And let's get one thing straight. If you are more outraged that NRA spokeswoman Dana Lash called a mass killer crazy than you are about the FBI ignoring a detailed and credible warning about Parkland mass shooter Nicholas Cruz that could have prevented the shooting, you are not part of the solution. Neither is banning guns. Banning guns won't work. You see, our right to keep and bear arms is not a privilege that can be voted away. It cannot be infringed. It is a right guaranteed to be protected by our Constitution. It is a right necessary to defend ourselves against insane and evil people who try to harm us and a government that tends towards tyranny. Guns are not the problem. And if you're not willing to talk about the dangers of gun-free zones, if you're not willing to talk about protecting our students with armed security guards and teachers with concealed carry firearms, if you're not willing to talk about the social impacts of absent fathers and black box psychiatric drugs and the failure of the sheriff's office and the FBI in stopping this killer before he waged his attack, you are not part of the solution. Neither is banning guns. If the government knocks on our doors at the point of a gun, demanding that we surrender our guns, believe me, banning guns won't work. And that is my final point. You can reach me on Twitter at Liz_Wheeler. If you liked the show, please send me an email at oann.com/contact. In the meantime, catch us here tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern. And until then, have a good night.